Hello, Northern Hero here. I'm going to be reading the beginning of this book, The Day the Dollar Died by Paul McGuire. Henry Ford once said, "It is well that the family of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. But when there is blood in the streets, buy even if the blood is your own." That's Baron Rothschild. The world is in a global financial meltdown where the current money system is going to be replaced by a global currency and a one world economic system. The one world economic system will pave the way for a global government. A new world financial order is being put into place. There is coming a unification in economics, religion and politics that has not been seen since the ancient Tower of Babel. America as an independent sovereign nation could be on the verge of extinction, depending on the choices and the decisions that will be made in the next couple of years. The goal is for America to become like Russia or China through a transformational process called the Hegelian dialect. Unless there is a change, the future of America will be a kind of synthesis of China and America. We are quickly moving in that direction. As the author of 16 books, this is the most difficult book I have had to write. Just in case if nobody realised, it's Paul McGuire. As the author of 16 books, this is the most difficult book I have had to write because our world is on the verge of the greatest social, political and religious transformation since the beginning of the human race. The subjects we are about to deal with in this book are not hypothetical or theoretical. Hypothetical or theoretical. They are very real and they are happening right now. I remember interviewing Tony Snow on my nationally syndicated radio talk show. I asked the former White House press secretary about the plans to merge Canada, Mexico and the United States into a North American Union with its own currency called the Amero dollar. Snow laughed at the question off and essentially said there was no truth in it and it was just a conspiracy theory. I thought Tony Snow was an intelligent man and he must have known about the coming merger. Ironically, while the White House was officially denying this, certain conservative radio talk show hosts were having temper tantrums on the air and calling the whole thing a nutty conspiracy theory. 3 interesting events occurred shortly afterwards that proved there was a plan to merge Canada, Mexico and the United States. First, the former Prime Minister of Mexico, Vicente Fox, I think that's how you pronounce his name, went on the Larry King show and openly boasted that there was going to be a merger between Canada, Mexico and the United States in front of an audience of millions of people. Secondly, the Prime Minister of Canada, Paul Martin, was being interviewed on a Canadian radio station and talked quite freely of the importance of the soon coming North American Union and the merger of the 3 nations. Thirdly, the legal organisation Judicial Watch filed a request based on the Freedom of Information Act, and put over 2,000 pages of internal memos from the State Department and the Department of Commerce talking about how the US government agencies were cooperating with agencies from other governments and private corporations in forming a merger between the US, Canada and Mexico. After hearing and watching the interviews of Canada's Paul Martin and Mexico's Vicente Fox, it was blatantly obvious that there was a massive cover-up of the truth. In addition, I reviewed 2,000 pages of internal government documents openly talking about the merger from the highest levels of government. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. Our governmental officials, senators, congressmen and presidents have decided to merge the United States of America into what could only be described as a regional global government, and then into a one world government along with a one world economic system. They prefer to use the term North American Community rather than regional government and global governance instead of global government. However, that is simply playing with semantics. In December 2008, an article in the prestigious London Financial Times entitled "And Now for a World Government" by Gideon Rachman writes, "I have never believed that there is a secret United Nations plot to take over the US. I have never seen black helicopters hovering in the sky above Montana, but for the first time in my life, I think the formation of some sort of world government is plausible. A world government would involve much more than cooperation between nations. It would be an entity with state-like characteristics backed by a body of laws. The European Union has already set up a continental government for 27 countries, which could be a model. The EU has a Supreme Court, a currency, thousands of pages of law, a large civil service and the ability to deploy military force. A change in the political atmosphere suggests that global governance, global government in brackets, could come much sooner than that. The financial crisis and climate change are pushing national governments towards global solutions, even